how easy is it exactly to see the difference between photos that are taken with the Sony A7IV and the good old Sony A6400? Well, I asked my friend Michael, who's a fellow photographer and a YouTuber, to come join us here today in the studio and see how easy he found it to, see the difference. And also, can you? All right, so are you ready?
I am ready, I think.
The stakes are really high. So, we have two different types of cameras. One is more expensive and much newer, and the other one is much, much more cheaper. And the only thing you have to do is just to see, do you know which one is from which camera, okay?
Okay.
So we can start with this photo.
Okay.
And then if you scroll right, you see the other one. So which one of these do you think were shot on the A7IV and the other one the A6400?
Oh my god.
So one is like an old entry-level camera.
Like, quite honestly, I can't see any difference at all. Like,
it looks like I just flipped the photo.
Am I allowed to pinch in, or?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I see a little bit of grain here on this one, but I see that on this one as well.
And this is a little bit tricky, and especially since I did this with my friend Kalle Flodin the other day. It's a few months now, but I've become better now at making them more so it's harder to see.
Yeah, and there is no background blur or anything that could give me a hint. Like, this is
50-50. Stakes are high. Are high.
Give me just a few more seconds. I will try to find something that could give me a hint. Okay, I'm gonna take a guess. I think the right one is the more expensive camera, the Sony A7IV.
Mm-hmm. And what lets you think that?
When I pinched in on the eyes, I could see maybe the eyebrows are a little bit more detailed, but I mean that's pretty much a guess.
I think Edna, that you're right here. I know this, Edna. I'm pretty sure that also. Pretty sure too. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure also you can see that on this one the highlights are a little bit more. They're not as nice as the highlights on here. So you're right.
Oh,
one out of one. You are right. Next photo is this one and this one.
Okay.
This is kind of macro photography.
Yeah, almost. Let's see. I can see that you have pretty much the same crop here, but the background... At least here I have a little bit of a clue. I can see some background blur, but it looks pretty much the same to me anyway. Okay.
So I have no idea here. We have to check also on the computer later.
Let's see. I'm gonna take a guess, but this one is, it's equally hard, I would say. I can see that on the right one, the depth of field seems to be a little bit deeper, and that would maybe suggest a smaller sensor, the right one. But that is again, it's a guess, and it's all I think I can go on. It could be other reasons as well. It could be that you put the focus differently, but I would guess the right one is the smaller sensor camera.
Okay,
that is my guess.
I've no idea at the moment, but the stakes are high.
I already put my bet here.
I think you're actually wrong here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. This one. Oh, one is 1 out of 1. Okay. 1 out of 1. Okay. So what surprises me with this is here I chose lenses that were the crop were equally nice on the A6400. I was using the Sigma 56mm f1.4, but on the full frame I was using 85mm f1.42. So the crop is similar.
Did you use the same aperture?
Kind of, but I was trying to, because the aperture f1.4 on a full frame gives a little bit more creamy look than on a croppy. So I was also sometimes trying to use f2 and then f1.4.
then it's pretty much impossible.
But not always. I can't remember. We can check later what I did. Here, I think this one was also pretty nice. And I obviously cherry-picked the photos that looked the best to make it the hardest,
Yeah, this is incredibly hard. Okay.
And what are you looking for, by the way, when you're trying to see which is which? What are your eyes searching for?
A picture like this, the first thing I look at now is the background blur, but you just told me that you're using different apertures and stuff, so maybe I shouldn't look at that at all. But that could possibly be a clue, like the depth of field. But then I will pinch in, and I will just try to see how much grain is how much detail is in his beard, for example.
Because the lens that I'm using also on the full frame is much better. It's a Sigma Art lens.
Okay.
It is sharper, but you have to go in pretty close. I mean,
yeah.
And also I'm guessing if you blow them up on a big prints, you see the difference. But my point here is also that most people are consuming their content on a phone, and everybody's so obsessed about always getting the latest, greatest camera, and I don't think you always need it. That's like that's my point there.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you're really proving it. On this one, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that the right one is the A7IV. And the reason I think so is that it kind of, I don't know, the colors look a little bit deeper.
The right one.
The right one, yeah. Okay. I think that there is maybe a little bit less grain there as well, but...
Our rim light turned off, so I'm gonna turn that on, and then I'll get back to it. So you said right one A7IV. Let's... Yeah. The one he turns like this is the A7IV. You said that? No, you said...
I was wrong.
All right.
This is hard.
So I also want to show you in the computer on bigger screens next time, but we have another light that turned off now. Give me 1 second.
Well, is everything on a timer?
I like these frames. It looks good. I'm very happy with this new studio. It looks good. Next photos these are in the dark. And I chose the best photos the APS-C camera captured because the rest were just so obvious. Because in the dark, that's where the APS-C falls short, and if you don't get this, then you're stupid. No, I'm kidding.
These are the most different of all the photos so far.
This is where the full frame just slaughters the APS-C sensor. But you can, of course, get nice like photos with an APS-C sensor, but like handheld on the run and gun, it's just so much better to have that bigger sensor.
But I mean, to be honest, now like in the first few seconds of looking, I think it's really hard to tell the difference even here. Yeah. Maybe I'm just super... but because I'm like, okay, it's gonna be easy, I'm gonna look for the grain, but both of them seems to have... But yeah, the right one looks slightly better, I think. I mean, it could also be just motion blur or something, but let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that the right one is the A7IV because the guy is a lot sharper overall, and it just looks clearer.
Yeah, you are true there, and it's clearer and everything. And these, as I said, there were lights above us that lit him up. So the A7IV couldn't, A6. These names, the APS-C.
Sony and their product names. It's so weird, right?
A7IV E10, and you're like, what? I cannot say these names. But it was most easy to get them here. But if we pull up the computer and just show you quickly, just for the fun of it. So here you can also see one is clearly much cleaner. In my mind, there is like easily, you see there's a lot more grain here.
Yeah. And the depth of the colors, like this one looks so much richer.
Yeah. And these are edited the same way. I'm trying also, like, keep in mind, I'm trying to make them as similar as I possibly can, you know, with all the tricks in the book.
Yeah, you did a really good job, I have to say.
So here I have two photos. It's the same concept as we've been doing. One is the APS-C.
Yeah, this one is harder. I would guess, but this is pretty much a guess. I would guess that the left one is the A7IV. And what I'm going on is that the colors look a little bit deeper, I think, and maybe clearer. But it's a guess.
I think you're right here too. I think also the bokeh is, because here I'm both on f1.4, and the bokeh is a little bit better here. And let's check. I'm thinking that I'm correct here, right? Yeah. You're correct. Oh, yeah. You want to give a shout out to your channel?
Yeah, I mean, if you like macro photography, I have a channel about that. So that's my pitch. I'm all about macro photography.
Now, if you want to see the ultimate comparison between these two cameras, then by all means, click this video right here.